Translator, Dark Angel, Editor, Kurisu. The appearance of the Staff of Destruction made even Ling Han's expression turn grim. When a martial artist ascends to the spiritual ocean tier, they can forge their own weapons with origin power, greatly enhancing their might. The stronger the martial artist, the mightier their weapon. A heaven-tier warrior, for example, could wield a weapon capable of obliterating a deity transformation-tier expert with a mere strike. If only I could retrieve the weapon from my past life, the Cloud Dragon Sword, Ling Han thought wistfully. With that in my grasp, I would reign supreme over the entire Rain Country. However, a moment of self-reflection followed. With his current cultivation, he couldn't even approach the Cloud Dragon's sword without being crushed by its overwhelming aura. The mere proximity of a heaven-tier weapon would reduce him to nothingness. Even if I did acquire the Cloud Dragon's sword now, I would not use it. To do so would rob me of the journey and challenges that define my growth in this life. Ling Han mused with a wry smile. As these thoughts swirled in his mind, Baili Teng Yun and Jin Wuji clashed with incredible force. The Staff of Destruction was undeniably powerful. After pouring his origin power into it, several of the seals engraved on the staff illuminated. Yet, only a few of the seals sparked to life. The entire staff should have been engulfed in light, but only these few seals had responded. With the aid of the Staff of Destruction, Baili Teng Yun regained some ground in the battle. However, victory still eluded him. Despite this, the onlookers could not help but be awed by the weapon's power and might. "It truly is a weapon of a powerful warrior," one observer exclaimed. "I've heard that such a weapon is known as a spirit weapon. It possesses intelligence and can aid its wielder in increasing their battle prowess. Only those who have reached the spiritual ocean tier can craft such weapons. In all of Dayuan City, only the Dayuan King has the ability to forge them." "So does that mean everyone in the Dayuan royal family possesses their own spirit weapon?" another person asked. "Impossible. First, these weapons must be able to withstand the origin power of a spiritual ocean tier martial artist. Otherwise, the constant flow of power would shatter the weapon in no time. Furthermore, crafting a spirit weapon requires a normal weapon to be nurtured by a spiritual ocean tier expert for over 20 years. Just think, when the Dayuan King broke through to the spiritual ocean tier, how old was he? Even with ample materials, how many spirit weapons could he possibly have forged? I see. Ling Han, however, was deeply disappointed. While the Staff of Destruction had once been extraordinary, it had deteriorated drastically over the years. The spiritual seals etched into it were nearly destroyed, and only a fraction of its original power remained. In Dayuan City, even a broken spirit weapon could stir up a huge commotion. The materials used in its creation were priceless, making the staff valuable even in its ruined state. The two combatants continued their fierce exchange. In terms of raw power, Jin Wuji held the advantage. But with the weakened spirit weapon, Baili Teng Yun was able to hold his ground, forcing a battle that was surprisingly even. After hundreds of moves, Jin Wuji's superior experience led him to victory. As a result, Baili Teng Yun could only claim 4th place at best, a result that left him unsatisfied. However, to the spectators, this was already an impressive feat. Baili Teng Yun is only 18 years old. Who knows what heights he could reach in the future? One spectator mused. Jin Wuji truly deserves the victory. No weapon, even a spirit weapon, could overpower him, another agreed. After the battle, Jin Wuji's fame reached new heights. He had surpassed Li Dongyue and was now on par with the 4th prince. This shift in the rankings left Li Dongyue filled with regret. If only he had joined Huyang Academy 3 years ago. Jin Wuji was now poised to challenge Li Dongyu, and soon after, he would face the 4th prince. The other participants also began issuing challenges. Ling Han, however, did not rest. With only half an hour to recover, he knew he had to make the most of the time. The moment the battle ahead dragged on, his chances of claiming the 1st place would diminish. He issued a challenge to the 7th stage master, a young man around 20 years of age with a tall, slender figure, dressed in a robe with a sword strapped to his back. His presence exuded confidence. Lian Tao, the stage master, greeted Ling Han with a clasped hand. "I am Lian Tao. Please offer your guidance, Brother Ling." Ling Han responded with a polite clasp of his hands. "Please." With a swift motion, Lian Tao drew his sword, and in that instant it seemed as if the sword and the wielder were one, flowing seamlessly toward Ling Han. Seventh layer of element gathering tier. Ling Han noted silently, his gaze unwavering. Ling Han drew his own sword in a parry, though he was only at the fourth layer of element gathering tier. Thanks to his 5 elements origin nuclei, his combat prowess had already reached the 8th layer of element gathering tier. Furthermore, with the lone wolf's blood coursing through him, his power exceeded that of many 9th layer martial artists. This gave him the confidence to declare that he would claim the first place in the tournament. Ding, ding, ding! The 2 swords clashed with force, sparks flying with each strike. Their battle continued in a flurry of swordplay, both combatants showing their skill and mastery. Lian Tao, though his cultivation was high, had not yet formed sword chi. His sword techniques were also based on a yellow-grade, low-level martial arts technique, and his progress in it was still at the minor accomplishment level. While his cultivation granted him strength, he could not match Ling Han's battle prowess. After only a few exchanges, Lian Tao found himself at a disadvantage. There are 3 black-grade alchemists supporting Ling Han, Lian Tao thought. I have no chance of winning this match. The difference between 7th and 8th place is negligible. Perhaps I can forfeit and help him conserve his origin power. Lian Tao took a few steps back, sheathing his sword. I am no match for Brother Ling. I forfeit. Ling Han smiled faintly, understanding Lian Tao's intentions. If his opponent had given his all, Ling Han would have easily defeated him in a single move. But despite this, Lian Tao had shown kindness by sparing him some effort, and Ling Han acknowledged this with a nod. The 2 switched stages, and Ling Han, undeterred, issued a challenge to the 6th stage master. Xia Zhongguang, a recent prodigy who had just emerged in the last 2 years, stood proudly at the 8th layer of element gathering tier. "Brother Ling, please," Xia Zhongguang said with a polite smile, though his arrogance was evident. Despite his youth and self-assuredness, he was still cautious in the face of Ling Han's support. "Please," Ling Han replied courteously, his demeanor calm and composed. The battle began. Xia Zhongguang wielded a spear, and with a flourish he formed spear chi. The spear, 2 meters in length, danced through the air with incredible power, its reach and might amplified with every movement. Ling Han wielded his sword, embodying the grace and ferocity of the shocking electricity sword arts, not yielding nor showing a hint of weakness. His stance was unwavering, a reflection of his inner strength. Xia Zhongguang, formidable in his own right, swung his spear with incredible force, unleashing not 1 but 2 bursts of spear chi in the air. "See!" The crowd gasped in awe, their voices rising in astonishment. To form 2 flashes of chi was no small feat, a rare accomplishment even among the most talented youths of Dayuan City. And Xia Zhongguang, barely 18 years of age, had done it. His potential seemed boundless. How many more flashes of chi could he form as he matured? 3, or perhaps even 4. Could he one day challenge the highest of the ranks? Ling Han, however, was unperturbed. With a soft smile, he waved his sword with ease. In that instant, 2 flashes of sword chi surged forth, mirroring Xia Zhongguang's earlier display. Pooh! The audience choked on their own breath, stunned once again. Had Ling Han truly matched him? No, he had done more than match him. He had mirrored Xia Zhongguang's feat and proved himself even more terrifying. To think that at the tender age of 17 he could form 2 flashes of sword chi. It was as if a monster had been unleashed upon the stage. Xia Zhongguang could not help but feel a tremor of disbelief. The first flash of spear chi had come through years of rigorous training. The second flash, however, was a gift from fate itself, a mysterious encounter with an ancient stone plaque in a forgotten tomb. He had lost consciousness, and when he awoke, the second flash of spear chi had already manifested within him. Could Ling Han have experienced a similar twist of fate? If not, then his mastery was nothing short of terrifying. To form 2 flashes of sword chi at such a young age was unprecedented. Xia Zhongguang continued his offensive, pressing forward with all his might, but he soon realized the futility of his efforts. Ling Han was a wall he could not breach, and his heart began to falter. His thoughts drifted back to the imposing Lian Tao, who had also forfeited when faced with Ling Han. Was this really a battle he could win? a moment of clarity struck him, and he resolutely stopped his assault. "Brother Ling, you are truly extraordinary. I forfeit." The sudden surrender caused a ripple of confusion among the onlookers. Hadn't they been locked in a fierce battle, each struggling to gain the upper hand? Yet here was Xiaozhongguang, conceding without a moment's hesitation. Only a few, those who had witnessed the banquet with the fourth prince, could understand the reason behind this abrupt turn of events. Ling Han had already proven himself far more powerful than Lian Tao by forming 2 flashes of sword qi. Lian Tao's earlier forfeit now seemed like an act of foresight. Ling Han shook his head with a smile, acknowledging the graciousness of Xiaozhongguang. "Brother Xia, you are too humble. Let us become closer in the future. I wish you the best in your endeavors," Xiaozhongguang said, leaping onto the 7th tournament stage. At that moment, another challenge was issued, this time between Jin Wuji and Li Dongyue. Within 10 moves, Jin Wuji had emerged victorious, his desire to join Huyang Academy now burning brighter than ever. With momentum on his side, Jin Wuji next challenged the fourth prince, but Ling Han had no interest in watching others battle. After a brief rest, he turned his focus back to the 5th stage master. The 5th stage master was Liu Yu, a genius who had only risen to prominence in the past 2 years. The crowd's attention had mostly shifted to the clash between the fourth prince and Jin Wuji, leaving only a few, Ling Dongxing, Liu Yu Tong, and Li Hao, to watch Ling Han's ongoing battle. "Brother Ling, please," Liu Yu said politely, his demeanor respectful as he stood before the famed black-grade alchemist. "Please," Ling Han replied with equal courtesy, raising his sword in a swift motion. Without hesitation, he unleashed 2 flashes of sword qi in his opening move, revealing the full extent of his power. There was no reason to hold back now. Liu Yu, whose strength was comparable to Xiaozhongguang's, quickly realized he was no match for Ling Han. After a few dozen moves, Liu Yu's thoughts turned inward. The 3 black-grade alchemists standing behind Ling Han were a testament to his potential, and Liu Yu knew he had no chance of securing first place. Instead, he made the decision to forfeit. With that, Liu Yu, like Xiaozhongguang before him, chose to step aside, avoiding any further confrontation. The spectators, absorbed by the battle between the fourth prince and Jin Wuji, hardly took notice of the forfeits. But Ling Han's rise in rank left them with lingering questions. Was he truly as powerful as he appeared? The answers would come soon enough. Ahead of him now stood only 4 opponents: Baili Tengyun, Li Dongye, Jin Wuji, and Qi Yongye. Who could have predicted such a turn of events? Ling Dongxing's excitement grew. If Ling Han could defeat Baili Tengyun, he would secure the right to face Jin Wuji and the fourth prince. The dream of victory now seemed within reach. At that moment, Ling Han issued a challenge to Baili Tengyun, and the battle began. Baili Tengyun, the young sect master of the Baili sect, greeted Ling Han with the same respect and politeness he had shown to the fourth prince. He, too, recognized the power of the 3 black-grade alchemists behind Ling Han, and saw no reason to treat him lightly. "Please," Baili Tengyun said, raising his staff. "Brother Ling, you are indeed formidable. If I do not give my all, it would be the greatest disrespect." Ling Han smiled, his sword humming as he replied, "Then let me experience the might of a spirit weapon." The 2 warriors faced each other, and Baili Tengyun immediately summoned his spirit weapon, a black staff capable of summoning a sliver of the will of a mighty warrior. The skull that materialized was a faint shadow of its former self, its power diminished by time, but still potent enough to challenge a martial artist in the element-gathering tier. Ling Han, however, was no ordinary martial artist. Despite his current strength, he retained the remnants of heaven-tier power within him, a power that even the spirit weapon could not hope to overcome. His sword cut through the air, clashing with Baili Tengyun's staff as 2 flashes of sword qi surged forth. "Quick! Look! Ling Han is having a fierce battle with Baili Tengyun. Is he really this powerful?" The others forfeited so quickly because they knew Ling Han's strength all along. What kind of freak is this? He's only in the 4th layer of element-gathering tier, but he's already this strong. The crowd's attention intensified, drawn to the duel between Ling Han and Baili Tengyun. At the same time, the battle between the fourth prince and Jin Wuji raged on, both sides demonstrating their incredible prowess. In that moment, Ling Han's legend grew even larger, and it seemed that his rise to the top was inevitable. The tournament was no longer just a battle for rank, it was a battle for the future of Dayuan City itself.